Oh, that's why. Well, okay, now this should work. Test, test. Test, 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 test. Can people hear me? Not sure how much of a delay is going to be on this. Hello. Oh, I am heard. Oh, that is excellent. Yay. Woo. I'm not sure what kind of delay there's going to be on this stream. So just kind of bear that in mind. If I seem to take like a very specific delayed amount of time in order to respond to your questions, understand that I might have a delay or um, either that or I'm like distracted trying to do this coding. So, all right. Let me scroll back to the beginning. Let's see, because there was a couple suggestions already. William Mao had suggestions for the Emerald Immolator. I actually don't remember what that looks like. I don't know if you've posted that on the public Discord before. Um, let's see. Upgradable God tier comb. Comb. So what is the comb that you're talking about? And William, you have posted it before. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Um, I see. I'm sorry. I'm searching right now through. See, not sprites work. I assume it's item suggestions. And let me go back to chat. Emerald chainsaw that has a permanent fire aspect. Okay, we actually have. I think Kadurf actually set that one up. Kadurf and I, especially Kadurf, but Kadurf and I did this whole big rearranging of all the weapon code in order for 413. I think it was this year. It wasn't a year. Yeah, it definitely hasn't been a year since that. Okay. So fire aspect works, and then let's see, suggest Muppets. Okay. I guess Muppets are an option, yeah. Emotionally, I don't know how I'll feel creating that. So Emerald Chainsaw, Muppets, Hair Comb, um, Floral Chainsaw. That sounds pretty cool. um, let's see. Anyone, if people had stuff that they already created, for example, it sounded like the Emerald Chainsaw, or was it Chainsaw? The Emerald item that was mentioned earlier. You are welcome to, if you post it again in, let's see, um, item suggestions is probably a good one. Um, if you're in the public Discord, that's probably a good channel to post it in. Um, we could go into that. I also see some talk about whips. Yeah, the Emerald Immolator. That's yeah. Sorry, I'm pausing to like process everything. And like Kadurf said, yeah, we were trying to figure out how to like make all the weapons more modular. That's what I was talking about earlier. Um, yeah, just repost anything that you have, both including the sprites. If you have sprites that you made, you can also post in item suggestions. That way I just won't have to go between channels. And your suggestions as well. Yeah, these are doing good. In the meantime, I just saw in the Discord that one of the other devs, Riot Mode or Spoiled Mystery Meat, he's already created Smuppets. Um, yeah, let me message saying if you have the sprites, would you mind posting them in the channel? Question mark. And then back to the chat. What would Minecraft hair look like? That's a good question. Um, comma, the tridents. We have been kind of adding tridents. Um, I have been delayed in that because it takes a little bit of effort to get the 3D model. If you think about the trident when you're holding it and you're about to throw it, or when it's already thrown, it has a 3D model, and trying to work on that has delayed me. Um, Learning Omori soundtrack. The thing that's most important for developing a mod right now, currently you actually can, if you see on screen, I'm in a branch called Tiered Dungeons. This is the next step after Frog Temples that I've been working on. That way, we just added Frog Temples. That's a bit of progression to get started, and then once you have entered, we want there to be, I'm trying to make sure that there's layers of progression, that you have to kind of go from one dungeon to the next. um I won't talk too much about it because I can't guarantee that like certain things are going to be the way they are. Maybe this isn't something I'll be able to fully pursue. So I don't want to get people's hopes up and have their people's mindset. um Colin, I think whips are cool. I think that they might take a little bit of work. I could think of, if you're familiar with the term hit scan, that's what like our wands currently use, where it just ray traces. It takes one position, the position where the user their eyes are, and then it goes a certain distance away from that, and you can do something at the edge of that or along the distance of that. So we could, if we did whips, we could potentially do it like that. But for this stream specifically, I'm not going to go for that. Uh, and it looks like there is, okay, so there's the emerald immolator. So I'm gonna start with the emerald immolator because that's the first one there. It's in Spriteworks. It's already done. I hope you guys don't mind if I make some modifications to the to it, but I am down to start with it. Let's see. Right now I'm saving the textures. Okay. All right, and now let me open, now that I have the textures, I will open nifty diffy program paint.net. Is it possible to extend the attack range and lower knockback? It is possible to do that. I tried to figure out how to do that I wanted to actually introduce like spears and stuff to the mod. But that's currently kind of stuck a little bit until I figure out some more details. All right. Now let's see. Got that, and then where's the chainsaw? There's the chainsaw itself. Okay. Okay, okay. I'm liking this. Colin, for the Prospin Durst question, yeah. Yeah, eventually, Prospin Durst are intended to be added. I worked on it a little bit, and Kadurf also came up with some cool ideas, um, for adding Prospit and Durst, but we haven't really worked on it much. I still have a lot to learn about adding new dimensions. But I think this specific update, or sorry, not this specific update, doing tiered dungeons that I talked about earlier in this stream, I think that would be I think that will really help me figure out how to add Prospit and Durst. Let me get started on this. So I'm sorry if I keep changing the subject. I have a very my mind constantly toggles between things, and trying to also make sure I read the chat doesn't does not help that. I'm gonna start in this chainsaw. Normally, the new weapons and stuff you see in the mod are either created by me or someone else, usually like one of the other dev members. They send me or either I make it myself or one of the other devs send me something they make, and sometimes I'll make modifications. Um, and then yeah, sorry, I distracted myself this time. Let's see. I see that. Okay, looks like it works. You know what? Before I start trying to mess with the texture because it looks pretty good. Um, I am going to remove those bits, and then I'm just gonna add them in. I'm just gonna add them to begin with. So I take whatever thing I'm doing. Sometimes I'll go to a new branch. In this case, I will be because I'll be adding a bunch of things. Um, the program that I use, and I think most other devs use, is called IntelliJ. This is like a free version that anyone can use. It's very useful. Um, Come on, keep indexing. Um, so I'm gonna go into this 1.15 branch, and I'm gonna just wait for that. Now I'm gonna create a new branch. Um, I'm gonna call it viewer suggested. This isn't the best naming scheme for a new branch, but whatever. Okay. Now. We are creating a chainsaw, so there's a couple different places that I need to go. MS items is a good start. Um, there's two places in MS items I need to go. Um, First off is here, and we usually try to group things together. So we already have this lipstick chainsaw and this lipstick. Uh-oh. It says they're not receiving enough video. I hope things are not getting junked up on your ends. spell that correctly. Immolator. I'm gonna call this Emerald Immolator Lipstick. Kind of reverses the trend here. Item field and item registry. Thank you, Kaderf. Alright, so got the item field, and now let's go over to the registry. This is where we actually set the properties and data, kind of. It's a bad choice of words, but we set what it is and what it does, all that. I'm gonna copy something we already have here for reference. All right, and now let's see. Let's work through it step by step. It is a weapon item that's something we created. Um, it's pretty similar to normal weapons, but it has some special features. This is how these classes have been kind of remade, so it's more versatile. Now let's see, what kind of material is most applicable? Um, let's go with, I think, custom. I think one of Minestuck's introduced material types is most applicable because we have an emerald tier. These properties work the same way as the other ones. Um, and the way the other ones work is it gives a kind of baseline for how much damage it deals, how fast it is, how much durability it has, blah 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 blah. It helps define all of those things. So I'm gonna work with this emerald tier. And you know what? I'm gonna also pull up the base tiers and all this because I want to know how much damage these do. So let's see. Iron has 250 durability and addition of 2 damage, whereas Emerald has a base durability of 1024 and actually has the same base damage as the iron. So if we are creating a new alchemy item, we usually try to make it so that it's more effective or better than the previous two. So if the material type damage is the same between iron and emerald, and this is 2 damage, let's just pop that up to 3 now. Attack speed we can keep the same, and for the actual like lipstick version of it, we can keep it as wood. Just it's kind of like, kind of clunky, non-usable kind of deal. Efficiency, I think we should keep the same. I think it makes sense. We have the ability to set a tool type, and it has an axe tool type, So the chainsaws are actually usable as an axe, which is great. Then we can add another property, and that is switch to. This is what we use to switch between items, is pretty much what it says. So this means that when you right click on the chainsaw, it's going to switch to the lipstick version. If you right click on the lipstick, it's going to change back to the chainsaw. But I copied and pasted these, so these should actually be immolator, lipstick, and emerald emulator itself. There we go. I try to keep with this durability here. The reason why we have to define, you don't always have to define this, which is just explaining what the durability is, but it's very useful to, at least it's very useful when it's a switching item because you want the durability maximum of both of these things to be the same. And if they have a different material type, for example, this one has a wood material type and this one has an emerald material type, then by default they're going to be different. And if you switch from one to another, well, it might just not work, or it might break it because it's going to be less less durability or more durability than it could have potentially. I'm putting in this here because this is emerald's durability. And then this here, this is group. That's just actually that's just where it's going to show up. So you'll see we have all these different creative tabs. So when you're going in your creative inventory and you want to find this, this is going to be in the Minestuck item group of weapons. And this is going to be called Emerald Emulator. And the other one's going to be Emerald Emulator Stick. Very nice. Does anyone have questions about what I'm doing? And can everyone still hear me? Try and wait for the chat to catch up. Not sure if it's behind. Not sure if there's even like a problem with it. Looking back on the chat, William Mao, for the moment, oh, I am heard. That's great. For the moment, I'm not going to add the right click thing for the hunger because it's already trying to. It's going over your head though. I'm sorry. Um, I'm trying to find a balance between running through all of it and not taking 5 hours. Because I'm not the best teacher for something that, I didn't exactly go to school for this. Hey, as long as you guys are having fun, I don't mind. Yeah. Also, well, one of the devs, Riot Mode, is asking me to tease something that might be coming up soon is a potentially a guide for uh a guide through the entry process, based off of a in-canon text. Might not be the in-canon text that describes what you need to do that you want or expect, but it's going to be an in-canon text regardless. Alright, before I distract myself for too much longer, alright, I have kind of defined it in MS items. I need to set up what its name's going to be in person. So this actually puts me in a new place. This is where we define the exact name that shows up in the game, and as well as the tooltip. So if people have a tooltip they think the Emerald Emulator should have, just go ahead and pop them in the text in the chat. Where's the other? It should be up. Yeah, here's the chainsaws. Whoop. Emerald emulator, emerald emulator lipstick. And this is what I was talking about. This is the actual name that shows up in chat. And it's meant to be, the way we have it set up, it's meant to be translatable, or it's the game will be able to process it so that if you're in a different game version, for example, if you're playing in French, it won't just show up in English, Emerald Emulator. Given the chance of translation, it will have, something appropriate, which was actually a problem because one of our uh, dev members, he hasn't been too active lately, but he was trying to translate everything. He's speaks French and was trying to translate everything for French, but all the puns are rather English specific. This goes for stuff we've added and stuff that's already in Homestuck. Like, I don't know, like the bisector might not work if like bi bisexuality isn't quite the same, or if bisect isn't like a French word. Like, it's gonna just be, I don't know how you'd like combine that together. Also, the Emerald Emulator, it is supposed to have a fire aspect. Okay, let me pop back real quick and add that. It's pretty simple. At least now it's made pretty simple. And just put, this should be an on hit effect. Let's see, what's it called again? On hit effect. Fire. Probably passed right by it. Set on fire. There we go. All right. Let's see. Other instances of the set on fire has 35, 30. I'm gonna do more like 10. I can't remember if that's in seconds or in ticks, so we might have to change that. Also, I haven't looked too deep into it, but the Sanguine Saber seems pretty cool. Maybe that'll be the second one we work on. Okay. I've added it there, added an MS items. Let's see, where else do I need to add it? Well, there needs to be a model for it, and there needs to be a texture for it. So we should just be able to grab, trying to go with like low brain, trying to like, there's quicker ways to do this. But I'm not working with my full memory capabilities since I'm um streaming, if you know what I mean. I'm looking for a chainsaw, right? Chainsaw, bum bum bum. Lipstick. Ah, that's because it's called lipstick chainsaw. I'm just gonna copy this. Pardon? And I'm calling this Emerald Immolator. Immolator. Okay, that's the model for the Emerald Immolator done. And then let's do the Emerald Immolator lipstick. And let me copy that so I can pop it in here. Bam. 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 That is the model for both of those done. And I'll have to check back through as well in case I've messed up the spelling or something. But let me close this, and then luckily we already have the textures. Emerald Immolator, and then where's the lipstick? I think I need to rename the lipstick. Because it's lipodemic. But I want Emerald Immolator. I hope I'm not just putting in the wrong lipstick. Alright. Nice. Those should both be done. Yeah. I just looked back at chat and saw end crystal grenades. I don't know. That's like, I don't know. I feel like we'd have to give it a ridiculous cost in order to justify adding end crystal grenades. But I love that. Yeah. Okay. There's one last thing I need to do as well. Um, when you have something that is animated, it has several frames. For example, this chainsaw here, this is two different frames basically, and it switches between those two. You need an additional file, and that is called a MC meta file. And so the Emerald Immolator needs an emerald immolator.png.mc meta file. And pretty simple. Frame time, keep that. There's a bunch of different things you can do. You can like make it so that certain frames are held on longer. It's pretty wacky, but I'll keep it that because we already know that the other chainsaw uses the same. It has two different frames. Yeah. Oh, Frozen Lake, the necklace idea you talked about is very smart. Um, would it? I don't think we'd be able to do it today. Maybe as an item itself, we might be able to work that out. Um, I think Cybernet, someone who's worked on this mod, and for those who are familiar with Minestuck, the Minestuck server that exists for 1.12, he's done a lot of work. There's a bunch of different like amulets and necklaces that can do those things. Yeah, it's good to have you, Colin. And I will see if Sanguine Saber is possible. I'll have to look back through the chat. Um, yeah. Let's see. Right. Not forgetting anything, am I? It should be good just to let's test it out. Let's do one trial first. Um, yeah, the return. Oh, Cyber's here. Yeah. Okay, so it is universe. I wasn't sure if it was universe or like god tier or what. Yeah. The Guan. Oh wait, that's the like long. The like Guandao is like a like long, not like a glaive. Glaive is no, I guess it is like a glaive, ain't it? Guandao. Yeah, it's like a glaive, ain't it? Yes, Cyber, are you raising your hand for the answering of Guandao? Do you have anything to bring to the class? Oh, okay, you're still talking about that. Yeah. Um, so Panda, there's not a Guandao, but that sounds like a fun item to make. Conceptually, I feel like the closest thing we have to a Guandao is a Lucerne hammers, which are kind of like a warhammer mixed with like a spear. It can be separated, and the other end can have like a spearhead sort of thing. I think that'd be really cool. Um, if we, yeah, if we, if I, oh man, actually that's really tempting. Uh-oh. Yeah, audio clean. No, it's fine. All right. I hope my audio quality doesn't get too wretched. Because I just opened up Minecraft and that's rather resource intensive. Let's see. We'll call this viewer suggested testing. Has the quality I have an error saying that it's not receiving enough video for smooth streaming. Can people see Minecraft loading up? This is messing with my brain. I can't tell if like there's a delay or people just weren't vibing with the my question. All right. Just as soon as I finished that, I just got the messages. Oh, welcome, Ramona. Lovely to have you. We're creating a chainsaw right now. It's like reduce down, reduce like everything. And let's see what my computers. Okay, the CPU and memory aren't maxed out. Um, YouTube obviously still doesn't like it. Yeah, I had to reduce the quality settings. Oh, would you look at that? Well, it's done. It's working. Why is there no audio here? I guess this is set up not to have audio. I don't know if you guys, I guess you guys can't hear any audio. But first step is done. And you can see the flame works. Unfortunate for that sheep. I almost called it a cow. I almost called that a cow. That's not a cow. Let's get something more. I was gonna say more ethical to beat up on, but that has there's some moral implications to saying that any entity is morally more like I'm obligated or more okay beating up. So it looks like um flame lasts for about 10 in-game seconds. Um, I think I might reduce that. Oh, I guess that counts. Okay. Okay. First step done. Good stuff. I'm going to reduce the fire to 5 seconds. Somewhat arbitrary. Yeah, like the villagers are bug villagers are murderers, but like not to be like if I murder a murderer, there's still equal amount of murders in the world, but like I guess there's always ethics to get I don't know. I'm not that pressed. I'm not that worried about I'm not that worried about like beating up on a fictional entity. Oh, you said the this chainsaw is doing less damage than the first chainsaw? I hope when you saw the damage, I hope that I just saw the message about the chainsaw potentially doing less damage. I'm hoping what you saw was the lipstick, but there's a chance you're correct that you might have seen the damage be less than the normal chainsaw. I'll check on that again when I get back into the game. So now that we know it works, it's in there, it's animated, it switches between the two. That's great. Um, Now what we can do is make little tweaks here and there. I already tweaked the how long it catches things on fire for, and I'm also going to start adding the grist stuff, the alchemy aspect of it. So we have this class called Minestuck Combinations Provider, and then we also want Minestuck Grist Costs Provider. So we just found these. I'm just gonna find the other thing. Um, so it's there. Is lipstick the only thing? Oh, oh, lipstick's the only one here. Okay. Um, and yeah, okay, I see the messages about the 6 damage. So, um, and what the chainsaw does. Okay, have some good sleep. Everyone, wish Ramona some good sleepage. It's demanded. In Frozen Lake, what kind of grist types are used the least? I think I might have written it down once. I try to help balance it out when I add new recipes because honestly what types of grist are used are somewhat arbitrarily. You might want to, have a certain grist type if you think it reflects it, but honestly, a lot of them come down to like, oh, it has the right color or something like that. Like, oh, this like green, this green weapon, it should have uranium because uranium's green. And I feel bad about that. Um, the normal chainsaw does 7. So yeah, I also wanted to do more. So just went from 2 to 3 earlier. So that's 6. Or sorry, that's 7. This was 6. Now this is 7. Now that is 8. We'll check that again once we get back in the game. Um, Now I'm gonna do a step that might have been unexpected for people. I'm gonna pull up a spreadsheet because every time I add a new weapon to the game, since I at least specifically for items, I've been the one doing those. I have popped them in to a spreadsheet because everybody loves spreadsheets. Um, and this is actually how this is a somewhat new thing. Um, you can see it says weapons post 4/13/21. So on April 13th this year, um, when we also made the switch over for weapon properties, um, I also made it so that every weapon was categorized and you could assign a universal value to it. And it's kind of annoying sometimes, but other times, it means that anytime you add something in, you don't have to do any kind of guesswork to assume how much it's going to cost to make that thing. It's 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 going to be figured out. It's going to be good. All you'll all you'll have to really do is figure out um, what types of grist you want to use. So let me pop out this. Got this. Boom, boom, boom. Emerald Immolator. Um, we want it to do. So actually, the lipstick chainsaw is supposed to do 5 damage. So okay. Um, I'm there might be a there might be some inconsistency either just like uh William out either one of us might be misremembering how much the normal chainsaw does, but the spreadsheet actually says that in game it's supposed to do 5 damage. Um, in which case I want the Emerald Immolator to do 6, which was what it's at. So I'm actually gonna set this back to 3 and hope for the best. If that's not actually what happens in game, I'll have to change some stuff on the spreadsheet and I will fix that up. All right. Um, so we got this lipstick chainsaw. Speed's the same. Damage is just going to be 1 more. The material is up here. It's kind of it's kind of messy, so it's sorry for people trying to follow along. I'm pulling the material now, and the emerald material has a value of 0.7. There's a chart we made. Does this have shield breaking property? No. Does this have sweep? Nope. Does this have knockback? Nope. Does this have reach? Nothing has reach yet. That's gonna be a different thing. Is it ranged? No, it doesn't have any ranged capabilities. Is this a tool type? Yes, it is. It's the same as the chainsaw. It's an axe. Now, special properties. This is we get into a little bit of guesswork here. Not guesswork, but this is more qualitative than quantitative. This I am assigning inherent values or importance to certain properties. for example, this 0.25 thing here, that is the property of switching between items. It's pretty low just because that doesn't, deal more damage or give you something special, really. Um, Excuse me, I got like a little burp. That was weird. Um, so it has the same special property of switching between weapons, and I'm adding 0.25 to special properties because of that, but it also has fire. So let's see, where is another thing that has fire? Doesn't the Ruby Croak? Not the Ruby Croak, it doesn't. Festus Lumberjack does. And it has a value of 1 in the special property row. This is in reference to giving fire to entities when you hit them. Let me check something else. Cobalt Saber, special property of 2 seems pretty high. This might be a little inconsistent. That's 1.4. So Scarlet, Zillyhoo, this has 50, so that's pretty high. This Melt Masher has half of that. So what did we put as the score for that? We put it as Melt Masher 2. Oh, that's inconsistent. This is actually something I might need to figure out. The values might be a little bit off. But regardless, I think we can go ahead. I think it makes sense to have around 0.75, honestly, for how much extra capability the fire aspect gives to the Emerald Immolator. So I'm gonna add that together with the switching effect, and that gives it 1 in total. It's no rarity, it has default durability. Now you actually have a calculation here. Anytime you guys want to check how much damage the dev team considers a weapon to do per unit of time, you can check this spreadsheet. I think it's publicly available. We have straight DPS. That's what you have in game. So like 6 times 2.5. I guess that is no 6 times 2.5, 15. Yeah. So DPS is just straight up 6 times 2.5. That seemed wrong. But we have PvP adjusted damage, which is weighted towards damage. So speed matters less in terms of PvP, because if you could, at least that's what this portion of the equation says, because if you can get a really good hit in, it doesn't matter if someone else is hitting you a lot but not doing a lot of damage. You can like take out half of someone's health. And so in total, combining those two, once those are also weighted, it gives a recalculated damage per second value of 10.3. Okay, and that means its universal value is 594. A lot of that probably didn't make sense, and I didn't explain all of that, but but that is the case. If anyone has questions about the process or confusion, I don't know. People are welcome to ask any questions about this process. I'm just plugging in all of these numbers, and out pops a. Yeah, I'm sorry, Pan. I just see your messages popped up about the spreadsheet. Yeah, all this is I'm plugging in all the the properties of the weapon in order to get how much grist this should be costing. And it's 594, 594, so just put 594. So we know in total it's going to need to equal 594. Let's see. Um, here we go. Simple person, you see numbers, you turn your brain off. All right, well, this next couple minutes is also numbers, so I'm sorry about your brain. I'm looking at the rarity of, let's see, what makes sense? Build, there's no emerald, there's, what, there's, oh wait, we have a whole list. Build, amber, caulk, chalk, iodine, shale, tar, cobalt. Honestly, I'm kind of feeling cobalt for this. But yeah, I'm gonna go with cobalt. Cobalt is gonna be one of the components, and then quartz, mercury, marble, ruby. What? Sorry, what seems off, William Al? Let's see. This tar. 67 instances of tar. Um, Cobalt. 95. You know, I'm going with tar. Tar seems like the move. Uranium or sulfur. That's true. I usually do sulfur for burning weapons, but I feel like not, I don't know, should everything that has burning or like withering have uranium or sulfur? It's a matter of personal opinion, and people are welcome to their opinions, and I'll probably put in whatever people think. Um, I'm there we go. Um, looking for emeralds. Um, what do people want for the last component? I've seen sulfur or uranium. But someone else's, if we have any other recommendations. Okay, there's also ruby and sulfur or tar. Emeralds cost ruby. Okay. Ruby's also been used for fire. Um, yeah. William Mao, I think part of it, with the chainsaw situation being kind of low, I think some of that has to do with its accessibility. Like, people want the chainsaw slash lipstick, like the default one. And so it's somewhat accessible early game. Um, you know what? I'll do tar, and I was recommended ruby. Yeah, ruby and tar. Actually, sorry to be an panda. Rubies are um the same thing as sapphires, kind of. They're both, well, MS types. Corundum, ruby and sapphire corundum, but emerald is, it's like beryl, isn't it? It's like some sort of beryl. Is it related to beryl? It is beryl. Yeah, okay. Wow, glad I know my minerals. I was jokingly shamed at work because I misremembered granite as being a metamorphic rock instead of a sedimentary rock, or not instead of a igneous rock. Like granite is actually an igneous rock, but I thought it was metamorphic just because like I was like, oh, because I don't know, it seems like it's pressured together, blah blah blah. It's okay. That's also I sorry if it seemed like I was shaming you, Panda. I was just trying to be like a weird nerd about it. You are more than understandable. What you said is more than understandable. 594. So if we want, I forgot the number immediately. 594. We want 594 divided by 3, 198. So it'd be 198 times 1 over 1 over, let's do tars first. That's a rarity of 0.5 divided by 0.5, which is just times 2, I think. 198 times 1 over, let's see, what is ruby? It's 0.3. 0.3. I'm messing this up because it's actually supposed to be divided by. There we go. That makes more sense. So what I'm doing here is there are 3 components, and I'm saying in terms of cost, I want them to be equal. That doesn't mean that the numbers are going to be equal, but their kind of weight. The weight of build grist, tar grist. I want to bring it to a new line. Tar grist and ruby grist equals, I'm gonna say 59. Yeah. So splitting the total universal value into 3, you get 198, and then you get the rarities of all the components. So build grist's rarity is 1. It's a value of 1. So if you did that number over 1 divided by 1, you get the same thing, 198. If you do it, if you divide another third by 1 over 0.5, you get 99. So for tar's rarity value of 0.5, you get this, and then for ruby's rarity value of 0.3, you get this number. And all this just means is that we have a mostly quantitative way in which to determine the value of the weapon. So it's 198, 99, 59. 198, 59. 198, 99, right? You guys might have to repeat that in chat for me. 198, 99. Let me flip that. And then what? 59? You know, I didn't think about this. If I ask people to remember it for me, um, and there's a delay, I'm gonna have done it already, and you guys are gonna like potentially spam answers. So 198, 99, 59. 198, 99, 59. 198, 99, 59. 198, 99, 59. There we go. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Make a little doodle. Okay. All right. We have the grist cost, and now that was a lot of work for something so small comparatively. Um, Emerald Immolator is gonna take the chainsaw and what was the recipe people wanted? What was the recipe? What's the recipe for the Emerald Immolator? And, and it's gonna be and Emerald Sword, it looks like. Pulling that from the Discord. Alright. This other chainsaw idea you guys are mentioning sounds pretty cool. Um, what are people feeling? Do you want me to look back and see what the deal is with the sanguine weapon, or do you want me to um do you want me to work on this other chainsaw, or is there a third weapon like that, like Guandao? Personally, I am biased towards the Guandao, not because it's simpler to do, but because I don't know, it just feels good. I like introducing like new base weapons because I feel like it helps me get creative like for new combinations because I can be like, okay, if I have things that are not a sword or not like an axe, then you can just like there's a whole new like playing field, I guess. Another chainsaw's being worked on. Okay. All right. And for those trying to keep along with what's actually going on in this coding, I just did something called run data, which means uh, I actually don't have the mental capabilities right now or sometimes ever to describe it, but what it means is that some things like for example, JSON files, you'll notice that we didn't create a JSON file for the Emerald Immolator recipe, but we did put it into these two classes, these combinations provider and grist cost provider. So when you run data, it takes these two and it creates a JSON file for us. Slang. So the first time we played the game with the Emerald Immolator, you'll notice it didn't have the proper name displayed. It had like its location. But now that I ran data, it's gonna have that. So let's pop it open. Next weapon that I do, if people are still down for me to do another, I'll try going through it a lot faster and I won't do as much explanation. Do we have any other Guandao lovers in the chat? I know it's something everybody just like has an opinion on. Most definitely everyone has an opinion. Well, I'm making it sound like a joke, like ha ha ha, people have opinions on it, but I have an opinion on it. I think it's cool. So I guess I don't know what I'm even talking about. Oh, katas. I'm not sure what that is. Is that um doing I don't know if that's like a misspelling or an actual like name of like an activity. Seems pretty cool. I was actually talking about Guandao somewhat recently with someone I work with. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Ah, there we go. So, Emerald Immolator is in. You can switch between the two. Emerald Lipstick, Emerald Immolator. And there we go. There's a recipe for it. And nice. Excellent. Um, we did it. We did a thing. Um, it doesn't have a sound like a sound associated with it, but the other chainsaw needs a sound as well. Um, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to. Oh, I thought I saw a glitch. I don't see any glitches. Yeah, the other one is 5. Other chainsaw is 5. All right. We got the first thing in. Um, we can quickly run through a second one, I think. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to get. Um, I don't know how much longer we'll be able to get people. How much longer people will be motivated to stay on the thing. Um, I just called it Emerald Lipstick because I was basing off of the Emerald Immolator name. If you have a better name, I know there was the original name of Oh, I can't remember the original name right now, but I would be down to also include it, or change it to the other name. Um, what do people want to work on? While I wait for like an answer, I might do some touch-ups of the texture. Um, Let me pull out the other, the default, the lipidemic lipstick. So actually, what's the name mean? Is there like a meaning to the name? Let's see. If there's ever a sword version of chainsaw, I that'd be fun. Fun to have like just like brown, brown. I feel like this needs to be a little less pale. Maybe. Is there any other weapon recommendations people have? Like any like there is a couple that were mentioned before, but is there any ones that people really want to work on? Want me to work on? Make a little bit later. Maybe still a little bit too dark. I don't want to make it like super dark. I did want it, you know, a little bit darker than it was before. And that's closer to the original colors. Yeah, I think I like those changes. Just updated the texture in game before. Um, I'm not seeing, no one else is saying any recommendations, so I guess I'll work on something that was mentioned previously that has been talked about. Maybe this will be chainsaw stream. There's the thistle blower. Um, Someone wants a grandfather's clock. I'm not gonna do the grandfather clock right now because that'll require block bench modeling, and I don't want to have to go into block bench right now. Um, Whistleblower seems like a good one. The whips, I think I said I was gonna wait. Tridents, could do some tridents. Or Sanguine Saber, which there's like 2 or 3 people who are talking about it. Um, Gives you a few. Um, Sanguine Saber seems cool, but the specific functionality that's talked about, I don't think um we'd have the time to do because then it would involve like saving NBT and stuff like that. Um, Maybe I'll do the Thistle Blower. Oh, there's a oh Cyber, you bring up the bows. I do actually. I have an entire branch. I have an entire branch for bows, but because it requires like new properties, like I don't think I'd be able to work on them here without like going quiet for like 5 hours trying to focus on it. For those interested in those bows, or specifically Cyber, if you're interested in those bows, I have a draft pull request out. I think it's the ones like you, maybe like Ish worked on. I don't remember who. I'd have to check the update. But yeah, go work on that go work on that on the thistle blower. Yeah, thistle blower, thistle blower. Um, bubbity bubbity ba. Let's see. Let's get out a base chainsaw. And open it up in paint.net. The Energy Bone Inferno. Yeah, I think both of those are in there, or at least Inferno one's in there. Uh, NA, you can add a suggestion, although honestly, I do think like going to the grist request. Sorry, not the grist request. The git merge request would be better. if someone wouldn't mind going, if you don't know how to do that NA, then we could go for that. And Panda, I see you have another weapons that are an instrument. I don't. We don't really have any. We don't have any weapons that are like instrument, but we could have one that gives like a random, specific note. Let's see, thistle blower. I'm gonna take. No, I don't want that shape. I'm gonna take the general shape of the blades. I might not use them as is, but it's good to have that shape, and I don't want to have to figure out how to, the animation process. So let's see, a thistle blower. I'm kind of imagining like a Terraria weapon. The harp idea sounds pretty cool. Um, It'd be interesting. It would be interesting to have like a just a whole set of like musical weapons that all do specific potion effects. Um, I wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to think about how to balance that. I'm always worried about adding stuff like healing or stuff like that because hypothetically it could be like really hard to balance, but I don't really know. I think the harp and stuff makes sense. I'm interested in trying that. I'm gonna look at up a picture of a Terraria. There's like a Terraria wand. It looks like it has like a rose or something on it, or like a thistle. Since this is like thistle blower or whatever, maybe I should just search up magic weapons. It's not the firefly. Ah, there we go. You guys can't see it, but I pulled up just like a list of all the like Terraria weapons. I found the one that I was thinking of. Yeah, oh, the club as well as the like club kind slash axe kind guitar. Honestly, we could do like Marceline's bass almost, like from Adventure Time. And I think you're right about like mu instruments being important. Also, William, lovely that you finished. Um, did you create like a texture, William? Or William Mao? If you did finish those, you're welcome to post them in the item suggestion and I'll pop them up. Nice. I'll take a look at those real quick. And then maybe I'll just get back to this thistle blower another time. If there's already a sprite done, I'm trying to figure out. I think time is important. I wish there was a larger canvas because it'd be interesting to have for this plant themed chainsaw. It'd be interesting to have the like actual like thorns on it, like kind of like move in organic, like organic motion instead of like very like symmetrical. Like it was kind of like wavy back and forth. Like I don't know if I'm quite explaining myself, but maybe I'll make this chainsaw thinner. This little flavor. I'll work with it as a base still. I don't want those because I want the like red. Less green. And I want there to only be I want there to be less of them. More like that, yeah. And then let me pull up Spriteworks. There's a new chainsaw idea. Nice stuff. Quality. So for the items that you just put, William Mao, those are for the same weapon, right? Like the lipstick and those are attached. I guess I'm getting a little confused, or at least I don't find it immediately identifiable that they're related to one another. And then let me ba-ba-bum. Zibbity ba 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 ba. Bidida ba ba bo. I put them in here, didn't I? Oh yeah, there it is. Net, and then the other one was calcium. Ooh, I like that little icicle bit. Okay. Okay, okay. I like these. Okay. Especially like that lipstick. That's really good. I think the blade here, I don't know. I feel like there's some changes that could be done to it. Um, I know the default, I know the default chainsaw has a very kind of like stark gradient, but if we had the opportunity to change it, I don't know, but that's not bad. Regardless, it's not bad. That's a good one. Let's pop that in real quick. And you know what? I'm working on two at the same time. I was gonna start doing that thistle whip. I'm just gonna, even though the texture is not complete yet, um, I'm gonna pop it in. Thistle blower. That's what it's supposed to be called. Thistle blower. Thistle blower. You use the Club Zero and Skeletonizer for reference. Okay. Well, let's pop this pair. Make a new set. This will be ice tier. Ice tier is 1 damage less than default, but you want it to have 7 damage, so total, so that'd be 5. Okay. I think Ice Shard is applicable. So I'm gonna give, you said it doesn't have to have any special effect. You said it doesn't have to have any special effect, but I'm gonna give it Ice Shard, which means that occasionally it'll deal a little bit more damage and a shard of ice will drop from it. I'm gonna give this like no, I'm not gonna double it. I'm gonna do whoopsies. I'm gonna do like 1.5 times like 1536. 1536. Oops. 1536. 1536. Wonderful. This is meant to be built. Oh, and sorry, Kadir just said built a new version of an unrelated mod. I have my full you have my full attention once again. That's wonderful. Oh, tiredness is taking over. It's understandable, Kadir. You're a busy person. You have much to do in life. Frosttooth. And in game I will use the names you came up with. William Mao. But in terms of like the code name, I'm gonna keep it consistent so it's more I can figure like if you see it once you'll understand what it is instead of using several different names. So use Frosttooth. Keep it at 1 word. And now Frosttooth. And then Frosttooth lipstick. Frosttooth lipstick. Frosttooth. Keep saying Frosttooth. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, and a new idea for the chainsaw. Yeah, alright. Lay it on us. Yeah, obsidian chainsaw. I'm down with this. Calcium frost stick. See you, Cyber. Take care. Do well. You got this. So you want it to be named to the other one to be named lipidemic. Lipidemic. Obsidian chainsaw would be cool. And good night, Kadir. We will have fun, assumedly. I was getting distracted. I think I was making a tooltip for these. Nah, I was gonna say like bits of ice fling off a cave. I don't feel like that's quite. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. Let's go with pop, frost tooth, and let's keep that. And let's go for amethyst. I'm feeling amethyst. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I also want to keep the tar. I think the tar makes sense for some reason. I need to find the material for ice. I think Frosty Makuhikle has it 0.55. Strange, that's rather high. Might need to be changed eventually. That's actually going to have tool type yes, but special property it's Let's go back to Frosty Rock with Heatlay. Oh, maybe it doesn't have it. Prismarine Basher. No special property. Now hold a second. Where is Ice Shards? Where's another example of Ice Shards? If I go down here. Club 0. I was looking at the wrong one probably. Club 0. 0.25 property. Yeah, I'll call it a 0.25 then. So there's already 0.25 from the switching property, now another 0.25 in total to make 0.5. And that's a decent bit more durability. More like that. 871. 871. One. Let's do the same split. 871. Property values are, I went with what, amethyst? Amethyst, yes. Amethyst is rarity of 0.3. Oh, amethyst is 0.3, then all of these are good to go. I'm gonna call that 291. 291. 14587. 14587. 587. Yeah. That and then use Emerald Immolator. And it's an Emerald Immolator or Club 0. And then real quick. Frost Juice. Frost Juice Lipstick. And now I'm gonna go back and pop in the texture, but this is juice lipstick. Whoa, Doro's here! Howdy, Doro. Everyone welcome Doro. Give your adoration. Is that good? Am I winning? Yeah, things have calmed down a little bit here. We got a couple good suggestions. We're actually filling out the chainsaw category in the mod. Something we were definitely lacking in previous. Right now I'm running data, um, and unless I mess something up, that should be like everything for the chainsaws. Well, the single chainsaw that we just worked on. Ooh, obsidiator and fuchsia lipstick. Interesting. Yeah, pop 'em back into Sprite. Oh, it's already done. Already in Sprite. Sprite works. So while this is processing, chugging along, I'm gonna save. Okay. Um, I usually just do one more damage than the previous one if it's a group. Um, or it's like, a lineage. Just 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 because it's consistent, and also the more damage you do per thing, it gets there it's it a lot of stuff happens. I don't know. Its viability goes up a lot for each damage. What am I doing? Oh, I just ran data so I can do run client. And while that's setting up, I can actually work on the next chainsaw that was just popped in chat. Oops, that's not right. Um, obsidiator. Obsidiator. And this other one's gonna be, at least in this location, it's gonna be called obsidiator lipstick. The name of fuchsia lipstick will be kept once it's actually in game, or the name in game that you'll see is fuchsia lipstick, but in code it's gonna just be called what I just said. So I just added it there. Just got this. Pop that in there. Scoop. What's an applicable type? I almost want to say Reggie tier, but that's not quite it. Maybe we could do stone tier. I mean, that's like what it actually is, but Reggie tier. Where's Marine? Let's do Corundum. You know what? Corundum, just because, honestly. This is that, bum. This needs to be that. That's gonna be that. That. City tour. And city lipstick. Let me save that real quick. Because the game is already up and running. What have y'all been up to? Y'all been up to anything fun? I've been doing a lot of coding. I have like a job. Um, but oh, there we go. In my off time, I've been just coding a bunch. There is Frosttooth. Frosttooth's in the game. Nice. Working and twerking in between. Bam, bam. You know what? I will make this have 8 damage. Actually, no, wait. Let's see. Hold on. So this went to, let me see real quick. This went to 8. That'd be 13. Hmm. Okay, then this would be, this one 9. That would be, hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to keep that as 7. Um, and the Obsidiators is gonna be 8. Just because if they would go higher, they would be of similar combat ability to the top tier items in the game. Um, I don't want to make that the case, at least not right now. Okay, let's pop that in here. City your lipstick. There we go. That should be good. City from Frosttooth. What am I looking for? Oh, I'm looking for a recipe, aren't I? Um, what's the recipe you guys want for it? I think it said, oh, frost tooth and fire poker. I don't know if the frost tooth slash fire poker quite makes sense. I'm not a big fan of that recipe, I will say. Um, hmm. We do have the makwahile. That also doesn't make much sense to me. It's always just straight up obsidian, but at that level, I feel like it should be. I don't know, because that one has it. I'm gonna just do obsidian for right now. Gonna do. Gonna do and. Make it Reggie tier. Kind of arbitrary. Is there a cool something we could include? You said no unique effect, but we could give it a potion effect. Is there one that's applicable to the obsidiator conceptually? Hold off for now. But if I start seeing stuff in chat, which if I do it'll be on delay, then I'll consider it. Into that. Okay. Just thinking of a 8 damage chainsaw, I'm down with that. Fuchsia lipstick. That recipe needs to be created. Subsidiator. That'd be 0.7. It's wild that it's actually gone down in terms of special properties. It's become less and less special. Not necessarily a bad thing. More just humorous to me. It's gonna be like, I guess say 0.75 for durability because it's less than expected for that tier, that kind of weapon. 972. You know what? I'll give it a rarity of 1. That really jumped up the price. That's expected. Two four two nine. 2429. I just average that to 2430. Makes it easier. Gonna make it garnet this time. I'm gonna get rid of the. No, I'll keep the tar. Main thing you're thinking about is just shade brick stone variants. Yeah, yeah. That needs to, it's still something that needs working on. 8, 10, 5. 243. I'm actually gonna make it cost less build grist. Four, 5, and 3, 6. Then for fuchsia lipstick is actually gonna be called Obsidiator lipstick. Oops, I didn't want to enter debug mode. Nope. Nope, please. Please. I'm sorry. Please. Please stop building, please. No! Oh no. Well, it's certainly trying to do something right now. I haven't actually taken a look at the models for them. These obsidiators. Nice, that looks pretty good. And I think this model could do with some changing. For one, what? Let's try that. Two instances of the game. It's two instances of the game trying to run. That's not allowed. Stop that, please. I'm gonna have to stop all. Ah, jeez. Okay. I think once the subsidiator is done, I think I'm gonna have to call it. Just because, viewership isn't doing well. Honestly, no, that's not a good reason. I'm getting a little burnt out. And I have other things to do in the day. Yeah, so let's see how it worked for this, and this might be it. For people who are here, who are still here, if you had recommendations that you put in here, but that that don't exist in other places, I can recommend going to the public Discord and adding those suggestions, and that way, it gets saved. Because obviously we didn't get to everything. The sanguine weapon didn't do whips, didn't do the combs, didn't do tridents, didn't do the thistle blower or the other one. Um, and eventually it'd be nice to get to everything. So post all of your stuff uh down in the item suggestions. Otherwise, you can also probably just post it. I would even go for the comment section of this video, although it'll be less public. It'll Less people will think to go there to check it. All right. With that said, oh boy, this might be it. We might be ready to start a commit. Actually gonna I'm actually gonna create the pull request itself. Once I actually send this pull request in. Ho ho ho. Wahaha. I guess he did kind of dominate the stream, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You had a lot of good got a lot of good suggestions, and it doesn't help that you had art ready. That really saves time for adding stuff, is that I can just check over a texture, see if it's good enough for viewing. I want to take a look at I really liked some of Panda's suggestions as well. I didn't really get to build them, but I'd love to do that. Gotta get the weapon we were talking about, the Guandao. Okay, it's done. They're all done. Everything. All the recipes are in. They're even plugged into. They're even plugged into the spreadsheet. Only last thing I would do with them is uh actually add them to the. I might add them to the wiki page, but I'll do that after the stream if I do end up doing that. Okay. Well, I think what's that? 3 weapons? I think 3 weapons was all right. I'm not sure what kind of pace I was expecting. Um, but we made it through. We got the Emerald Immolator, Frost Tooth, and Obsidiator. And then just ignore these other ones. The ones in blue aren't actual changes. And let's see. Um, yeah, got 3. All 3 of them have recipes. 3 of them seem to have the right recipes as well, which is important. Doesn't always happen. All 3 of them have costs. All 3 of them are named. Got them registered. See that. Check, check, check. Yeah. Although this feels more like I was gonna say Pokemon evolution line, but maybe more of like a Digimon evolution line, where like you have like a fuzzy little thing that turns into like, I don't know, a robot gun. And the mental gap is kind of confusing, but you're like, yeah, okay, it works. Yeah. Let's see. Added 3 new chainsaw weapons. Sprites made by, what do you want to be credited as? Like uh not elegant. I don't know if you want like elegant one or you want William Mao. I'll leave that blank for the stream to catch up. I'll put in for the moment. That's actually all that happened. Yeah, that's all we did. Sometimes like there's other things I'll have to include, but Emerald Emulator has catches enemies on fire. Frost sees and obsidian. Alright, the elegant one. As that's what the credit is. All with lipstick variants. Okay. And then I commit that. Once it's done committing, I'm gonna push to a new tab. And it's pushed, and now let's update and Dweblenod viewer suggested weapon additions. Okay, and as I'm typing this, I'm going to start saying my goodbyes, so maybe the stream will catch up and people be able to say goodbye by the time I'm actually leaving the stream. It was wonderful to have everyone who is here and was here. Um, maybe I hope I get to do. I hope I like mentally, like energy wise and otherwise, get to do this again because obviously there's a lot of suggestions that came out, and there's always ones that exist in the item suggestions channel of the Minestuck public Discord. Um, People have good ideas. Um, Sorry for those who wanted other ideas created. I just went with these with uh, William Mau's, just because the texture was already made, honestly. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to get as many. Um, I loved all of the suggestions. I think they're all really great, and if I'm motivated enough, maybe I'll try adding some more. I just want to try it silent for a long time. And 0, and then Obsidiator made with frost juice and obsidian. Yep,